I'm not sure where you are right now in life. You may be going through one of those trials, one of those valleys, one of those tough situations that we all trying to overcome and figure out the best strategies that we can develop to ultimately get us to where we want to be. So in this video, you may have clicked on it because you're going through a situation where you want to attract new love into your life. You want to attract old love back into your life. It's not about love at all. You want to create a new stream of income, something that you enjoy more, something that you love to do, something that maybe gives you more freedom. You want to understand yourself better. You want to understand why you keep getting stuck into the same patterns of behavior that's self-sabotaging you from not getting what you want. And is there hope? Like, is there a way to take these very real emotions of hurt and shame and guilt and things that ultimately don't have us living at the highest vibration of ourselves? Is it possible in the moment for us to really take control and ultimately reclaim our power to really chart a new course in our life that leads us not only to a higher sense of fulfillment and more positive emotions, but also the results of actually getting us what we want? So this is the question that I have found myself asking many times over in my life, especially going through, again, these times of hurt, these periods of turmoil, these periods of, I just got my heart broke, I'm laying in the bed, I don't feel like doing nothing all day, the time is passing me by, I'm playing the old songs, you got the oldies playing that's getting you in the state of being sad, and you want that old thing back, but it's just so far away from you at this point that you can't even see it as a possibility. Not a shame cycle hits, like, how did I mess that up? So I know this can be an overwhelming time, and I know this can be a time of, like I said, extreme emotional pain, and I don't want to undermine or discredit that, right? But what I do want us to do, including myself, is when we do come across these times, when we do come against these walls, how can we understand and have a better perception of what we're up against in order to change and actually take action that's going to improve our life? So that's what we're going to be talking about in this video. As a long-winded introduction around the concept of detachment. Whether you're in the manifestation, self-improvement, personal development, spirituality, community, all these different sub-communities on YouTube, I'm really loving how like-minded people can really come connect. But whether you're just someone that's looking to take their life to the next level and, again, understanding themselves a little bit better to get what they want, detachment is going to be something that you hear come up a lot. And I think usually you hear it in certain ways of, oh, you need to detach from that person. Oh, you need to let go. Oh, you need to just get rid of these emotions. But I don't know about you, but for me, when I'm going through these tough emotional times and I'm having a lot of pain, especially in the realms of like some of the deepest areas of life, whether that's, you know, the state of my health and how I'm feeling about myself at any given point, or the state of my love life. Like, for me, one of the big values in my life, what I've come to notice over the years and learn about myself, is that connection and love is a huge value for me. So I think as humans, we're all striving that connection with other individuals, especially in a romantic capacity, and being able to be intimate with someone. So I know, again, these can be touchy topics. It can be topics that, you know, aren't necessarily fun to dive into, but I think that, again, once we have a new awareness, a new perception of them, now we can, again, reclaim a lot of that power that we lost in the process of going through these things and really take our lives to the next level. So, again, you might have heard about detachment before in a law of attraction context. If you just detach, things will come to you, or I can just manifest things out of nowhere. If I just say, if I stop putting it on a pedestal, for example, so, you know, you might have heard, oh, I want this specific person. I want this girl in my life, and what I need to do is I just need to detach from the outcome, not care about it, move my eyes away from it, and just keep going and living my life. Now, is that the best strategy necessarily to get this person back into your life? No, but it may create some emotional states in you that's powerful, which you're going to get into more in a second. But that's why I have a problem, again, with this concept of detachment, as most people like to put it, is because it doesn't involve usually any action. It's usually just an esoteric concept of you sitting down and letting go, and as your thoughts come up, you breathe through it and get rid of it. And that may be okay to have some type of emotional regulation in the moment. However, if we want to have lasting change, if we want to understand ourselves on a deeper level to really shift the automatic behaviors that we take on a continuous basis, we're going to have to dive into this whole concept of detachment a little bit deeper. And that's not to say that detachment isn't valuable as a principle. However, without a clear interpretation of it, you can be lost doing things that ultimately aren't going to get you close to your outcome, because it doesn't include the magic pill for all results. You want the magic pill for all results, you were waiting for it your whole life, you finally came to this video, you're here, you ready for it? It's action. Massive action gets what you want in life. Now, we can take the wrong action and get what we don't want, so that's what we want to avoid. So in this video, we're going to talk about a few different topics, but to start, the first concept or idea or perception of reality I want us to understand is that we are not our behavior. So this is a great starting point for people, because a lot of times, again, we get caught in this cycle, we get caught in this shame, we get caught in this guilt, we get caught in this, I did something wrong, how did I mess this up? Man, I wish I wouldn't have said that. If I wouldn't have said that, it would have been like this. And now we just romanticizing and fantasizing about all these different scenarios. If we didn't never do what we did, but we already did it, so it's already over. Now we associating ourselves with that. Now our identity is like, oh, I'm a shitty person and I'm not worthy of love and I'm not valuable and I'll never get out this 9 to 5 because I suck and I don't have skills. But that's not true. That's just the behavior that you're exhibiting at any present moment of time. There's been moments where you go into a certain environment, you go around a certain group of people, whether that's people you perceive as higher status, they got more money, they got more fame, they got more clout than you, whatever it may be, or it's just a group of people you find attractive, or it's a group of women you find attractive. Now you tensing up, now you getting a little bit more uncomfortable, now you getting a little bit more self-reflective, and you starting to judge yourself a little bit more, versus when you go around a group of people who you're comfortable with, who you already have rapport with, and who you already, have that type of connection with. You're not gonna have those same sense of emotions. So, two different scenarios, very similar. One could be a group of people who you're not comfortable with, let's just keep it simple. And one could be a group of people who you are comfortable with. And in both situations, you're going into a new environment with people. The only difference is how you're perceiving the people who you're around, therefore affecting your emotional state. So we've talked about this in literally probably every video I've ever made recently. But again, what controls our emotional state? It's the triad. To keep it real simple, I don't even like the triad. I'm not gonna go with the triad. What controls our emotional state? It's two things: what we think and what we feel. Now, this is obvious right there. Okay, what I think and feel determines my emotional state. But even deeper than what we think, because thinking is just what it's thinking, right? It's the process of asking questions. So a better question to ask when it comes to think is, how do we think? Well, we focus on things and we give them meaning. Oh, I see my girl, my ex, it's 2 months after the breakup. I'm feeling hurt. I'm in a lousy state. I'm walking around. The whole world seems doom, gloom. Everything's raining. I'm all sad. I'm watching the movies in the crib, the romantic movies. I'm eating the ice cream. I'm doing all the things. I go out. I'm trying to just get out, get some fresh air. And I go to the mall and I just walking around. I got this lousy state. And then I see my ex, and now she walking with some other dude. And now my mind starts rationalizing all these things. So I'm focused on, boom, my immediate focus, what caught my attention is something that's important to me, this relationship. So I see this girl, boom, and then she with a guy or whatever. My mind immediately associates the meaning to that event as, oh, she's cheating, or she moved on that quick, she already messing with somebody else, she already doing all these things. So you're associating all these negative meanings based on what you're focused on, which is determined by your physiology, the way that you feel at any moment, the way that you move and feel in your physical body. I hope this is making sense, but I just want to briefly recap that in case we forgot. So the reason why this is important, and in any context, in any relationship, to control and understand your own emotional state, because that's where the foundation of awareness is. How do I feel and what am I thinking at any given time? That's what we're always deciding. What am I thinking about the situation? What am I focused on? What does this mean for me? How am I moving my body? These are decisions that we're always making on an everyday basis. Now, what causes us to go into one emotional state versus another? Very simple. Emotions are strategies. Emotions are strategies. What do I mean by a strategy? So a strategy is something that we do in order to get us to an outcome. So how do we choose our emotions, aka our strategies, to get what we want? Well, it's usually based on patterns of behavior. And this is why I say you're not your behavior, but you are your patterns. You are your habits. Now, we all understand this on a fundamental level. In some regard, you understand that habits shape our reality. You know, what you do consistently is what you consistently get. How you show up is, you know, all these cliche things, right? So emotions are just patterns of response to a certain stimulus, because it's all just a habit loop. Stimulus, response, stimulus, response, stimulus, response, stimulus, response. Something happens, we get information, we focus on something different. That's a stimulus. How do we respond? Based on our beliefs, based on a lot of different things. But based on mostly what's important to us and what's familiar, what's comfortable, what we're confident in. That's how we're mostly going to react in most scenarios. So usually, what strategies do people go after? Think about it for a second. What strategies, what emotions do you feel typically on an everyday basis? What negative strategies, what positive emotions? Just think about it for a second. Give you some time. Really think about it. What emotions do I feel on a regular basis? Given any week, think about, maybe right now, maybe pause the video, think about right now, all the emotions that you feel on a weekly basis. All right, done that? Cool. Now, a lot of times what you'll see the happies, the joy, the excited, the sad, the mad, the frustrated, the jealous. But why do we have these emotions? Well, it's usually modeled after our environment. So we've seen our parents act in a certain way, and that's how they got what they want. So that's when they did. You seen your mom when she pulled up to the spot and she go in, she cussed the lady out to get what she want, to reverse the transaction, to get a refund, whatever it may be. You went with your mom to the place and she mad about something, customer service, cuss somebody out. That's how she got what she want in that scenario. You might have picked up that habit unconsciously. Now when you want something you want, you get mad and pissed off and expect somebody to just give it to you. But what if that strategy doesn't work on all people, which is not? So not all strategies are effective for all scenarios, but they are effective for the scenarios that we're familiar with. But this whole video is about shifting what we're familiar with to get what we're unfamiliar with, which is new success, new levels, new love, new passion, new enjoyment, new fulfillment, new emotions, new levels of life. Hope this is making sense. I'm trying to be as clear as I can. So we understand that you are not your behavior, just your patterns of habit. And these patterns of habit are based on the psychological strategies that we try to use to get what we want. And this is why we feel emotions on a habitual basis. You go through a certain thing, you go through a certain breakup. Now you're feeling bad about it. Now you're in a lousy emotional state. What do you want in that moment? You just went through a breakup and you cut it off with this person you've been with for 2 years. What do you want in that moment? You want love, you want connection, you want somebody to feel close with. So what do you do to get that? How do you get love? What's your love strategy? For some people, it's sympathy. For some people, it's, well, let me tell you about how bad it was, and she broke my heart, she cheated on me with this nigga, and I saw them at the mall together, and this, and now you're just repeating this loop. Now, what do? Well, it's gonna be okay. Sorry to hear that. Oh man, really? So you get that connection that you're looking for, that love, and that's what they're giving you unconsciously. Maybe they don't perceive that that's what they're doing. They're just trying to be a good friend, but that's what they're doing, and you're being rewarded for it. You're gaining pleasure from them saying these things to you. So what do we have to do? What do we have to do to change? What do we have to do to shift the results that we're getting? What do we have to do to actually detach? I hope y'all following. Like, this is really deep and good stuff that can really help you to detach in a practical way that can allow you to take different actions but also feel different, which is what we're all after, is to feel better. So what we need to do is we need to know what we want, and we need to know who we need to be, aka what our identity needs to be to get what we want. And the best way to determine, not the best way, but one of the ways to reframe how you think about what you want, because I know a lot of you might be in a situation where you're trying to attract a ex person back in your life that may or may not be good for you. You just may be clouded based on your old patterns of having good feelings for this person, but it could be toxic. You could be modeling some bad behavior that you've seen from your parents, and now you just repeat the toxic cycle. So how do we really want to set the goal and like manifest a new energy, a new experience into our life, even if it's with the old person? You know, people can change, right? I don't want to limit that from happening, because that's what happened in my own life, right? Like, I know I haven't given y'all too much into that situation, but you know, this was a situation where I did a lot of the techniques, including detachment, to manifest this person back into my life after we had already broken up. And I did this on multiple occasions, and it's been following this framework and this process that I'm walking you through now, and understanding myself on a deeper level so I can take better actions to get what I want and do it much faster. So we need to know what you want, but not just, oh, I want this person, but it's like, no, you need to know what emotional state you want to feel in this situation. And most people, again, I've been kind of gearing this video towards relationship and love, but this applies to so many different concepts. It's literally any goal you have, it's metaphorically somewhere in your mind. Just a lot of times we place it on a pedestal when we don't align with it, but that's what we're gonna get into in a second. So what we don't want to do is place some arbitrary future outcome on a pedestal that we don't align with, that we're not connected with, that we feel separate from, because that's only going to create more separation from it. So what we want to do is get on the same page. We want to get in alignment with it, but in order to do that, we need to understand the holistic version of the goal, not just the what, but the who we need to be to get it, who we need to become, who we need to show up as. It could be who we need to become or who we need to show up as. It's most likely both, because we all need to grow and evolve, and that's going to be the best version of ourselves. But we also need to show up as that person more consistently, and the way that you do that is to be more in control of your emotional state more often. Show up as the happy version of yourself more often than the sad version of yourself. A lot easier said than done, but ultimately that's what we need to do. So at least having that as the goal, as the foundation, is going to be important to actually get there, to actually make it happen. So, you know, what you want, who you need to be, what emotional state that I'm actually seeking for. Because do we seek goals? Do we seek the car? Do we seek the relationship? Do we seek the body? Do we seek the money? Do we seek the job? No, we seek the things. We seek the feelings that we think these things will give us. You get the car because it's going to make me feel good. It's going to make me feel proud of myself. You get the girl because I'm going to feel love and connection. You get the money because I'm going to feel freedom and security. You get the job because I'm going to feel more in love with what I do and more impact, and I'm going to be able to contribute more. I want to get a promotion because I want to have that sense of growth and feeling like I'm progressing in life. So we seek the underlying feelings, the emotions of what we think things will give us. So when we're wanting a person, when we put it on this pedestal, we're not actually wanting a person. We just wanting a deep, loving, healthy connection with someone. And we can have that, and we can have that with the person. But the best way to get that is to not necessarily say that I can only be with this person only, because what does that do? That puts you in lack. That puts you in scarcity. That puts you in all or never. When the universe is generative, it's always growing. It's always putting new things in. So you could be running into someone tomorrow that meets everything that you want and more. But if you haven't defined what you want in a person, if we're talking about a relationship, if you haven't defined what you want that relationship to look like, if you haven't defined what you want to feel in that relationship, if you haven't defined who you need to be to attract that type of relationship, then you'll never be looking for it. Your RAS won't even be able to see it. So what we need to do is get absolutely clear. This is the damn near the most important step. It's like fundamental to get clear on what you want and who you need to be and what emotional states you want to feel, and not put it on a pedestal. So that leads to the next part. It's like, once you have this, what emotional strategy is going to be the best way to get there? Because emotions are strategies. So if you set this goal, you set an outcome. I want this girl. I want love. I want this relationship. I want this new job. I want this body type. I want to feel this way every day. I want to feel on passion. I want to feel lit up. Right? You say you want these things, so what's the best emotion to get there? The best emotion to get what you want, the best strategy to get what you want, is something you already know, but it's literally life-changing once you apply it to every area of your life. Act as if you already have it. Yes, the age-old truth. Act as if you already have it. Fake it till you make it. It's going to be the best strategy to get what you want. Now, is this being inauthentic? Is this not in alignment? Is this not truthful? No, not at least in my model of reality. The reason I say this is because it's not necessarily fake until you make it. It's just becoming the person that you need to be before the results show up in your physical reality, which is how results are produced. Like, we have to think things before they show up. You have to feel things before they show up. We have to make the blueprints before we can build the house. So I think it's just a natural process of creation. However, society has worked it into something else where it's fake it till you make it, you being inauthentic, stay true to yourself. And really they're just saying, stay stuck, stay stagnant, don't grow, die, do our work, and just be an energy battery. That's a different video, but that's true. So what is this emotion called? Well, the easiest way and the best way to look at it, in my opinion, is confidence. Confidence. How do you know that you already have something? You're confident that you have it. And what does confidence mean? Confidence is just comfort. Comfort. Feeling like you already have it. Feeling secure with it. Feeling familiar with it. Feeling like it's an important thing in your life. So this is the problem I have with normal detachment content, is because they say, it's not important in your life. Throw it away. Oh, just forget about it. Like, that's not gonna be your best strategy. Like, yes, it may make you more confident because you're less in a needy, lack, scarcity situation. You're not like reaching for this outcome on this pedestal that I can never have, and I'm just gonna always be striving for it, and it's always gonna elude me and get away. Like, you're not in that state no more. So maybe based on that, things start to come back into your life. But what's even more effective is to get absolute clear and precise on what is the emotional strategy I should be feeling in order to attract what I want. And that's confidence. That's the sense of feeling like I already have it. I'm already comfortable with this thing. If you already have what you want in this specific realm of reality, how would you act? What would you do? Who would you interact with? Would you be always checking their social media page, or would you be secure in a relationship? Would you always be wondering or worrying who somebody's with? Would you be secure? Now, reality may show you different things, and I don't have too much to get into like how to navigate when negative things show up in your reality. If you want to see that video, comment and I can make it. But in this video specifically, we're just trying to understand how we can reverse engineer this concept of detachment and use it to get what we want. So ultimately, we want to just embrace that feeling of confidence as if we already have it. And when you have this confidence, what you're really doing is you're really just living in alignment with the best version of yourself. Because a lot of times why we get what we want, then we lose it, or we never get what we want, or we get super close to getting what we want, and then we back off, is because we don't truly feel like the person that deserves it yet. We don't truly feel like the person that deserves it yet. We don't feel like the person who would have that thing in their life. If you want an amazing relationship that's healthy, that's fulfilling, that's filled with love, that's got you on fire, that's got you passionate, with somebody that you're super attracted to, that's so totally trustworthy, loyal, grounded in the Lord, but you don't feel that you naturally deserve that, you don't feel like you're worth that, you don't feel like that's possible, you don't have a belief system where that even lives in a realm of reality where you're gonna sabotage. You're gonna generalize behavior, you're gonna distort the behavior, and you're gonna delete certain behavior to fit your own justification, the way that you think about the situation, to match whatever disillusion you wanna match it to. All women cheat. That's a belief that you could be matching it to. Now you delete and you generalize and you distort all the information from this good person in this specific way because that's a belief system that you held. So this video is not about shifting beliefs, but ultimately it comes full circle when we add it with the confidence concept, because ultimately what you're doing through the process of defining what you want and showing up as that is you're shifting your identity. And we talked about identity shift in this video, in this channel before, but you're shifting your identity from who you are now to a higher version of yourself. And therefore you're attracting all the things that higher version of yourself naturally has. This version of yourself naturally has a great relationship. This version of yourself naturally is abundant. This version of yourself is naturally healthy. This version of yourself can speak well. This version of yourself can do anything they put their mind to, right? So we just want to be in full alignment with that, therefore living authentic. And that's going to be the highest vibration you have. That's going to be the most attractive vibration you have. Is a vibration of, I know who I am, I know what I want, I know who I need to be, and I am being that, therefore I am authentic, therefore I am in alignment. And I'm confident in this because I'm in my thing. Every time we're in our thing, we're confident. But once we try to do somebody else's thing, once we try to dabble into somebody else's thing, we lose that confidence a little bit because we're not being authentic. So what I want you to get from that is that confidence is going to come from authenticity and just showing up as the best version of yourself. This is not to say authenticity means keep showing up as the loser version of yourself that's laying in bed all day, that don't want to do nothing, that just want to listen to sad records all day and just eat ice cream. That's not the best version of yourself. You know that. You know you better than that. You know you deserve more than that. This is what I'm telling myself. So what do I do? Practically, to pull it all together in a practical sense, I hope y'all enjoying the video so far, is to prepare versus hope. So a lot of times, again, when we have this detachment mindset from what I've seen in the law of attraction manifestation community, there's always a hope component to it, to where it's like, I'm gonna detach and just hope that things naturally fall back into my favor eventually, right? But it's like, yes, you could do that, and it's a more passive, feminine way of approaching energy and spirituality and the way that polarity works. So if you're a woman, that may work for you. Just detaching, just embodying the feminine, like full on, like embodiment of this higher version of yourself. But still, I wouldn't say hope. So let me just scratch that. It's not a hope mentality we want to have, even if you're coming up from a feminine perspective who is more passive. You still want to put yourself in position to get approached or to attract what you're looking for. Like, you still don't want to be in the house all day. You still want to have that active component of it. And that comes from preparing. So the best way to understand preparation, in my opinion, would be to understand what you want, high level result, and then reverse engineer again. What skills do you need? Who do you need to be? What character traits? How do I need to show up? What does this person dress like? What do they talk like? What do they walk like? Where do they eat at? What gyms do they go to? What type of workouts do they do? What type of relationships do they have? Like, you need to really just get crystal clear on that person and then just reverse engineer the steps needed to become. So what does that preparation look like? It may look like going to the gym, because the best version of yourself, the person that attracts everything that they want, is this fit, buff, fitness model looking person. Or it may be sitting down working on that business. Maybe putting a little bit extra time on the business after work, because you got to do two things at once to really get what you want. Or it may be joining a social skills course, or maybe watching a dating skills course because you want to level up those things. Like, all these things can be changed and added and improved. But if we have a hope mindset, now that gets rid of all our power, and now we just play the waiting game and just hoping things will naturally fall into our lap. But if we take control of the things that we talked about in this video, which are essentially just the emotional patterns, psychological patterns that we use to think and feel, we take control of those strategies and bring back our power by putting awareness on them and shifting them consciously and setting a goal and reverse engineer and overcoming the fear by just taking baby steps. If we take those baby steps, which is all you need to do to prepare, is just take that one step today. What could that look like? It could just look like buying a shirt. It could just look like cleaning up your room. If you're really in a rough spot, it could just look like taking a shower today. I don't want to diminish the hope that comes from small actions, but actions are what give us the hope. Without action, your goals are merely just a wish. So, I'm gonna leave y'all with that. I think we covered everything. If you like the video, comment what you want to see next. If y'all want to dive deeper into this with me, if y'all want like individual one-on-one coaching, if you like some of these concepts, it gets so much deeper to this, and you can really start to condition these new behaviors and patterns in your life that really start to have you unconsciously moving towards what you want. And once you move towards something, it's moving towards you at the same time. And this is how I've, again, attracted the love of my life back into my life. This is how I've got literally jobs that I'm completely free, where I can make a video like this Friday afternoon. I can go to the gym if I want to. I was just in Thailand for 2 months. Before that, I was in Colorado for a month and a half. So I have complete freedom, do what I want. I'm really proud of my physique at a time to where I had it on a pedestal as far as my body, and I gotta be 215 pounds. When I started pedalizing, you just get so fixated on the outcome that you forget about, I gotta eat this beef here, I gotta do this, I gotta do this, I gotta do this, I gotta do this. So then when you just stop putting your attention, which is the main, again, like full circle version of detachment, it's when you just detach from the outcome and instead look at the process of who you actually need to become, then things start to come naturally. So if you want more help with this, happy to do so. Just feel free to reach out on Instagram. DM me the word one-on-one, like one-on-one. If you're interested in one-on-one coaching, we can dive deeper into that. But other than that, I think we're all good. Stay blessed, stay focused, stay on your purpose, and catch you on the next one.